Welcome to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm John. We're a couple of overweight barbecue enthusiasts trying to share our love for sweet and smoky food with the world.
Thanks for hanging out with us as we talk about life, share recipes, successes, and failures that have all led to our love of cooking outdoors.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Fat Guys with Smokers. I'm John, here with Mike. Nothing like a little Mortal Kombat to start the Saturday morning off.
Oh, it brought me back.
I just love that I can say something like that and you immediately finish.
Well, and immediately before that, we both quoted Mission Impossible, and we're both just like, oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We are brothers from different mothers.
Indeed.
Oh, it's been a wild week, man.
It has been pretty crazy.
So we recorded late last week, and it felt like it had been forever.
Yep.
It's been 4 days since we recorded.
Yeah, probably 4 or 5.
And it just feels like it's so much has happened in the last 4 days.
A lot of stuff.
Unfortunately, nothing as exciting as last time.
Yeah, last time was pretty epic. If we could just keep building on that, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, it was just busy at work, busy. Rec soccer season has begun.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, I do not love soccer. It is my wife's favorite sport, and I've decided it's a very American thing to do, to hate something because you just don't understand it. And so I'm trying to give it a fair shot, but man, it's difficult to watch, John. Difficult to watch.
See, I'm just not a patient person. Surprise, surprise.
That's weird. Go on.
Barbecue is the one part of my life where I have patience, and I can sit there and be like, guys, dinner's going to be another hour because the meat's not ready. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
I understand the rules of soccer. I get it. And I mean, this is like little kid soccer, so it's really not.
Yeah.
It's not like there's any strategy, but sure. Watching high school soccer, our really good friend is the head coach of the girls' soccer team. I go and support him every once in a while and watch the games. There's just so much long pass. Oh, fast break and another long pass.
Yeah.
That you get, a couple of shots on goal, and there's just so much of trying to get everything set up. Mm-hmm. It's actually why I really like hockey. It's almost the same game, except it's super fast.
A lot.
In a smaller space. And plus you can hit people, which...
Yeah, that actually helps. That's hilarious because I saw something the other day. I think it was just somebody kind of making fun of it. They were like, here's how we fix soccer. We make the field a lot smaller. We take a few people off. There's too many people on the field. And then we cover the rink with ice. I was like, oh, I see what you did there. I'm following. I like hockey. I just have a hard time following the puck. I haven't watched it a ton. So I lose the puck, and then I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But I think that just comes with watching it a little bit more.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But I do love watching the kids and how excited they get.
Yeah. Huge smile on their face, whether they're winning or losing. It's awesome.
There's a reel that keeps popping up on my Instagram. I don't know. Looks like 7 or 8 year old kids playing baseball, and the coach is standing on the field, and he goes, every time we step onto this field, we want to be winners. Now, if your dad told you it doesn't matter if you win or lose, I hate to tell you, but your dad's a loser.
Your dad's a loser.
We want to be winners.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because you want them to learn good sportsmanship and you want them to learn to have fun and enjoy it. I freaking hate participation trophies.
Yeah, I want them to learn to compete too,
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about soccer. What you been cooking?
Dude, I've been experimenting a little on the Blackstone. This week was Cinco de Mayo. And so I tried to do like smash burger tacos. So, I mean, there's 1,000 videos out there. So
yeah, they're really popular right now.
If you want to look them up. But basically, you make little balls of ground beef. You put a tortilla on there, and then you smash it down. Hold it for a few minutes, and then leave it. And then you flip it over. It cooks very fast. Cook it over, or flip it over. Put a little cheese on there. Let the cheese melt. And I mean, you may be thinking raw hamburger on the tortilla, gross, but it cooks all the way through, probably before you flip it because you smash it down so flat. But finishes, obviously, when you flip it over. Cheese melted. I put a little white onion, cilantro, squeezed a little lime on there. It was very good, and I seasoned it with Dia de la Fajita. It's very good, but it just kind of tasted like a hamburger, which, to be fair, is what most people do. Like, they cook it, and then they'll put pickles and onions and burger fixings on it. Yeah. And I tried to make it a taco, and it just kind of tasted like a burger with taco stuff. It was still good, but it's cool. I'm glad I experienced it. I now kind of know more what I'm getting into. So
yeah, I feel like there's been a bunch of like recipes and spoofs that I've seen on that where it's you cook the meat and with the tortilla or the bread or whatever stuck to the other side. Mm-hmm. That it seems like a cool idea. Like keeps it all together. I mean that's one of the worst parts of eating, a burger or a taco or stuff falling out the other side while you're trying to eat it. So it seems like a cool idea.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, and that part was cool. I mean, it didn't fall out at all, but it didn't wow me like I'd hoped it would. It was fun to do, cool to do, cooked really fast. Like I made 10 tacos in like 3 minutes, but
yeah, that's still the thing like I'm trying to get used to and like figure out how to plan and time in my head. Like my gas grill, my charcoal grill, like I know how the timing's going to work on those pretty much depending on what I put on it. The Blackstone, like it just cooks so much faster than I ever think it's going to.
Why is that, do you think? Just because it's full cooking surface? Like I'm trying to figure it out as well.
I mean,
even though I've cooked on it a few times, it always surprises me, like how fast things are going.
I mean, I think part of it is like a lot of times you're smashing stuff, like it's smaller pieces.
And thinner. That makes sense.
And then just more contact area.
Yeah.
Has got to be my thought.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But yeah, I cooked chicken thighs last night. As we did tacos too.
Yeah.
And I got taco holders for the Blackstone.
Oh.
I didn't get those for you, sorry.
That's all right. Whitney was saying, you need those taco holders.
Yeah, I got them when I went back to get my dad's and had a little bit more time. I still can't believe how fast I got out of there the first time.
Yeah.
Like, in and out with accessories and 3 grills in 35 minutes.
That's impressive stuff, man.
But yeah, they were pretty cool. So did chicken thighs, and the one thing I didn't buy was like a steam dome.
Yeah.
So I've been very, very creative. I'm using a foil pan.
Dude, that's genius though. You sent me that picture. I was like, you don't need to spend $40 on a steam dome. I don't know how much they are, but that should work just as good.
Well, it does. That pan gets stupid hot, so I've burned my fingers more than once doing it. But it's great because the bottom of it actually, like, it stays pretty clean. And if it doesn't, I just wipe it quick with a towel. Then I flip it over and whatever I'm cooking, I put it in the pan and take it in the house.
Oh, there you go. That's genius.
So,
why do you use a steam dome? Explain it to our people, because
I don't know.
I obviously know, but I want to hear your take.
Yeah, so it's high heat on the bottom, right? We were just talking about that. There's a lot of contact area. So the chicken thighs I was cooking were, because I don't plan ahead for anything, like we're still frozen. But you can do the same thing with veggies when you want more than just heat on one side, you can put a steam dome over the top of it, and it traps the steam or the heat and creates like a little oven element in there. So it cooks from both sides, helps things like frozen chicken thighs cook faster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
when I didn't know, that's why I was actually asking. But when I worked at McDonald's, when we made grilled chicken, it was like we did it on a flat top, and then there was a cover that you put on there that dripped water as it was cooking, and so kind of made a steam dome. So that's kind of how they made it. That's interesting, but makes sense.
Yeah. It's also fantastic when you want to melt cheese. You put a steam dome over something, and it'll melt your cheese to a new level of melty.
And then, do you put water in it to steam, or do you just put it over like a lid?
Sorry, got something in my eye, man. Yeah, so the chicken, I didn't put water because it was frozen and like it was steaming on its own. But if it's dry, you can put a little bit of water under there. Obviously, you don't want to put too much water because it'll make things soggy or gross or whatever. But yeah, a little bit of water, it'll really create that steam that helps transfer the heat from the air.
Makes sense.
So,
right on.
Yeah, I've got one of my boys. He doesn't like cheese. Like, he will eat cheese with a few requirements. One, there's not a ton of it, and it just like it has to be like gooey, melty.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm judging him right now. Interesting.
It's okay. He should move my phone. It keeps ringing.
That was a fantastic sound. I was like, "What's happening?"
It keeps ringing on the wire rack. Yeah, but I think that's one of the cool things about my kids is they will all eat just about everything, but there's a couple of things that they
won't touch.
They just like it's not their thing, and I love that they're already kind of figuring out what they like and what they don't like. But there are some things like cheese that I'm like, bro, you got to figure this out. Like, you're missing out on so much in life if you don't like cheese. But all right. Yeah, so I made tacos, but I did use those taco holders.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool. Like, yeah, heated up cooked the chicken. I too used Dia de la Fajita. Put those, then I heated tortillas up, melted some cheese, put them in the taco holders and started loading them up with meat. And like, it was really nice at the dinner table. Like the tacos were already made. People put their fixings on them and off to the races.
And I just grabbed them. And interesting. So those taco holders, you don't cook them in that. You just put them in that and they kind of form and interesting. Cool.
Yeah, it keeps them hot and kind of finishes melting some cheese and stuff in them. But yeah, they're super cool.
Nice.
Just enjoy the silence, everybody.
I just was looking at the camera and my knees are showing, and now I'm self-conscious.
Don't worry, I crop out just about everything from our waist.
Thank you. Yeah. Until next time.
Oh man, we're gonna have some weird comments on the feed this week.
I hope so.
I hope we get more comments like the one we got this week.
Yeah, tell us about that, John. That was exciting stuff.
Well, why don't you tell us? You found it. I had been running crazy. Was that just yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, I think so.
I had a couple of meetings that I was stressing out about at work, so I was going to work from home yesterday. I was like, no, I got to go to the office. I got to be focused and spend a couple of hours getting ready before these meetings. And I get this text from Mike. So
yeah. So the other day I'm out on my deck cooking, and my neighbor who is in the backyard starts yelling at me from his yard. He's like, "Hey, I got you a new listener." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Some guy at work. I told him about your podcast. He loves it." And so he messaged us on Facebook. First of all, he had a great tip for getting the freaking birds out of my grill, which again, they are building a nest. I've relocated their nest to a safe place. They've abandoned their eggs and they're building a new one in my grill. He said, throw the grill away and just use the Blackstone. I was like, well, all right, that's fair.
I was sitting here going like, I read that whole message sequence a couple of times. I don't remember what you're talking about.
It was pretty funny.
Throw the grill away.
Throw the grill away. That's the solution. Anyway, but he also said that he had a propane tank that he might be willing to let go. So I immediately messaged John and was like, dude, did you see that message? Because usually you're the one that gets the messages. I didn't even know how to look at messages, to be honest, for the first 2 months we were doing this. So anyway, exciting stuff.
Yeah, and it's not just a propane tank. I mean, a propane tank could be like, hey, I got this 120-gallon tank that it could kind of be cool for something.
Yeah.
No. How big is it, Mike?
It's 500 gallons.
500.
100. So there's some things you could do with that I think would be delicious.
So if you're listening and you haven't checked out more creations, I was just scrolling through his stuff, but while you were on your way over this morning, they do some really cool stuff. Looks like some laser engraving, CNC work.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, some really cool stuff. So if you're in the northern Utah area and need some of that work done, make sure you check them out.
Creations with a K, right?
Creations with a K and more, Moore.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure to tag him in the notes. But yeah, super cool. Mike sent me that. I got through my couple of meetings that I was worried about and might have spent a little bit of time looking for a trailer to put the 500-gallon smoker on. I've got most of it designed in my head already. we just need to pick a color. So yeah. So really excited to maybe have a project this summer.
Yeah.
But we're speaking of summer, we are coming up on maybe one of the most important holidays in all of barbecue.
It is an important holiday.
Yeah.
It is kind of the kickoff to the barbecue season officially, right?
It is. I mean, Memorial Day obviously has its own purpose, and grateful for all those that serve and give Mike and I the freedoms that we enjoy, and
to sit here and talk about what we like and
sit around, talk about barbecue.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was watching a TikTok and someone was on a college campus and trying to talk to a Chinese national about the relationship between China and Taiwan. He's like, dude, I can't talk about this. I'm going to go home to China at some point. And I can't imagine that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Being afraid of my government trying to regulate what I'd say. And let's not go political because we'll have all sorts of people in the comments about things and censorship and everything. But
well, regardless of your politics, I still think we live in the greatest country in the world. So
yeah.
Is it perfect? No. But man, we sure are blessed to have the freedoms that we have because of people that served and sacrificed their lives in the military. So
yeah. And what better way to celebrate them than with a holiday all about barbecues?
All about eating stuff.
I mean, there are other holidays that have a lot of food around them, but I feel like Memorial Day is, man, it's let's get outside, let's get the grills going. Our kids are going to be out of school before Memorial Day. Someone finally figured that out.
Yes. I'm so excited.
But you have any plans for Memorial Day or things you're thinking about wanting to cook?
Well, we're kind of having this, I don't know if I'd say debate earlier. I'm a big burger guy. I love a hamburger. And so Memorial Day, usually we're cooking for one or both of our families, and we do burgers. And I'm thinking this year, I want to try just some different stuff with burgers, some different takes on burgers. Have you ever had a slaw burger?
What do you mean by just a burger with slaw?
Well,
on
kind
it?
of. So there's a place in town, Beehive Grill. You've been there. They have a whole menu of slaw burgers, and so they'll have one burger that's they'll throw. I think they call it the Carolina slaw burger, and I mean they have a burger, they put pulled pork on it, and then they have
I like where
like
this is
Carolina
going.
slaw.
Okay.
They also have it's my favorite one, and I can't remember what it's called. I think they just call it the Asian slaw burger. But they'll take a burger. They have like this delicious like bacon, like not jalapeno, but some kind of a jam type sauce that they put on it, and then they'll put like an Asian coleslaw on it, and a fried egg. It's phenomenal.
Let's come back to the fried egg.
Yeah.
Explain Asian coleslaw to me.
I don't know. I
Is it
shouldn't
like
have even
kimchi?
started this. No, I mean kind of. It's kind of those flavors.
Okay.
But yeah, it just kind of has like some Asian flavors in it. It's basically, I think they just take a bag of coleslaw, put a different dressing on it, and call it Asian slaw.
Cool.
But it's really good. I'm trying to think of what, I don't remember. Anyway, and then they've got a Texas one where they'll put a burger, brisket, and then barbecue sauce, and it seems like that one has like an onion ring, and then anyway,
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, we were talking about this before, and I'm not I like burgers, but we were talking about this like burger versus steak. You would take a burger.
I would.
And
9 times out of 10, I would rather have a good burger than a steak. Not like a McDonald's burger, but a good gourmet burger. I would take that over a steak.
Yeah, and I don't think I would I wouldn't choose anything over a ribeye.
I do love a ribeye. But every time I go to Texas Roadhouse, I choose the burger.
Well, that's because you're at Texas Roadhouse, and you shouldn't eat their steaks. The burgers probably are better there.
That's true. That is actually very true.
But no. So, and I was thinking about this. I try and, like, we have a show called Fat Guys with Smokers, and our intro talks about how we're overweight.
Sure.
Like, the last couple of years, and, I mean, I've struggled with my weight all of my adult life. But a keto diet typically works pretty good and, like, melts the, like, I say goodbye to carbs and the pounds start to fall off. I smell a cookie and I put 10 pounds on.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it while we were sitting here. Like, I think half the reason I'm not a huge burger guy is, like, when I eat a burger, like, it's just the meat and some of the fixings on a plate. Yeah. Like, I'm missing the bun. And I think the bun is a huge part of it.
It really kind of brings everything together.
Yeah. So I need to work on my burger game this summer for sure. I'm excited to do that with Blackstone.
Yeah.
But fried eggs on burgers, I had never experienced this until I went on my mission.
Is it a Peru thing?
I don't know where it came from, but they're around the corner from the office. Like, the mission office was this place called Marios, and they did burgers. And I mean, the missionaries basically kept that place in business because we were there every chance we got. And they put all sorts of things on there to include fried eggs. The other thing they put on there were hot dogs.
Oh, I've done this before. I like this.
Yeah, split a hot dog in half both directions and put it on there
and patty it up.
It was really good. But man, putting a fried egg on a burger, like, you could even take a McDonald's burger and put a fried egg on it, and you would level it up. So.
Which is crazy, because I remember the first time I read that, I was like, that sounds like it wouldn't work. Like, that sounds so gross. But, oh, man, something about it is just...
Yeah. I think I talked about last week, like, I'm not a huge runny egg fan. That's a runny egg situation.
Yeah.
Like, it's... Like, I'm trying to... You know, people put mayo on their burgers all the time.
Yeah.
The fried egg is like the perfect mayo. Like, it's rich, it's creamy, doesn't add a ton of flavor, adds a little bit, but it just, like, adds this, like, super smooth texture to everything in there. And
oh yeah, man, so good. Burgers, dude.
I know.
Can you juice up a hot dog like that? Not necessarily with a fried egg, but I'm just thinking, what would make a hot dog next level?
Dude, I grew up in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about the hot dog.
Tell us, how do you make... I mean, because my kids will eat hot dogs. They love them. And I like hot dogs. I'm not hating on hot dogs. But what can you do to kind of next level it?
2 words, and you're you're gonna question this.
All right.
Celery salt.
What?
Telling you.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, celery salt. It's a real.
That sounds gross.
No, dude. It's you get the hot dog, and you need like a good poppy seed bun with it.
Okay.
I like mine grilled. Steam's the traditional Chicago way, but I mean, get your onions, mustard, put a wedge pickle in there, bright green relish. You can put some tomatoes on there. Whatever you do, do not put ketchup on the hot dog.
Really?
Do not put
What?
ketchup on the hot dog.
Is this a bad thing?
Oh my! You go to Chicago and you ask for ketchup, you'll probably get turned away from a couple of hot dog carts.
Really? I
I
did not know
We
that.
don't do ketchup on hot dogs.
Hmm.
Yes, my kids put it on there. Yes, my wife puts it on there. Yes, I give them dirty looks every time they do it. Yeah. No ketchup on the hot dog.
That's making sense because I served in Wisconsin and we ate brats. Like, dude,
man.
summer I served in Madison. I swear we had brats. Like every other day, people would invite us over and we were doing brats.
Dude, brats are the best.
And the first time I had a brat was in Wisconsin. Like, I'd never had one before. So I just go to put ketchup on it, and the whole table just stared at me like, no, man. Mm-mm. Mustard and sauerkraut. That's what you put on it. And I don't love sauerkraut, but everything blends together pretty good. It's pretty decent.
Dude, kraut is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do that, sprinkle a little celery salt over the top of it.
Celery salt.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I hate celery. Is that going to be a problem?
I don't think so.
Really?
What do you hate about celery?
The texture mostly.
Yeah, so
I don't mind the flavor.
This is the flavor with it. You'll like it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's how you class up a hot dog.
Celery salt.
Yep. But now I'm thinking about brats. I love brats.
Oh, dude, so good. So good.
And my kids will eat them. Haley doesn't really like brats.
Yeah.
We'll have to get together.
My kids will eat them.
We'll have to get together and eat some brats.
Yeah, dude. I love them. When I was there and we were eating them like every other week, I gained like 50 pounds. And they were like, yeah, the American Heart Association recommends you only eat like one brat every 6 months. We were like, we've eaten like 12 this week. So.
Yeah. We actually went on a goose hunt. It's been a couple of years now with my brother-in-laws, and we went up to South Dakota, and the weather was terrible the week we went. But I mean, I think between the 6 of us, we still came home with like 20 or 30 geese.
I was saying bad weather is like helpful for that, right? Because they want to come in and land.
This was like sleeting, like
Oh.
pop up out of your blind, and like your face is getting cut from the ice falling from the sky, that you're just like, ah.
That sounds delightful.
It was so miserable, man. I mean, it was a really fun trip, but the weather was miserable. I grew up in the Midwest, lived in the Northeast. Like, I have never been as cold. Like, after the first day, I went to Walmart and bought like every pair of gloves I could find, like bought extra socks. Yeah, that I can remember the first day laying in my blind, just like wondering if I was going to freeze.
Why are we doing this?
Well, and we got skunked the first day, man. Like, I don't think we saw any geese at all.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, but anyways, we brought back the there we go. Clear the pipe.
You got it.
Yeah, we brought back the geese, and goose is an acquired taste. Like, it is dark meat. Really,
the whole
dark.
thing. Really,
just about. And I mean, part of that thing, but like, these are migratory birds. Like, they're flying a long way. There's not a whole lot of sitting in the nest, chilling. Hanging out.
No, that makes sense.
But one of the things that the outfitter told us, he's like, just make bratwurst
Out of goose.
He's
Really?
like, it's like 80% pork and 20% goose, but it's a good way to cover it up. But we made goose bratwurst, and man, they were good.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. I've heard like deer sausage, stuff like that. You probably do the same thing. Interesting.
Yeah, man. It's
But yeah, it's funny, like, to eat some of this stuff, and people are like, "Oh, I love deer," and then they throw 80% of pork in with it. They're like, "Well, duh, everybody loves 80% pork anything."
yeah.
That's
Let me
funny.
just wrap it in bacon. Bacon wrapped tenderloin. Yeah, I bet you like that, buddy.
I dare say you could eat anything wrapped in bacon. Like any disgusting thing. You could wrap a cockroach in bacon and everybody'd be like, "Oh man, that's good."
So we're man, there's a lot of mission stories today. Good old Connie Craik was the MTC president, so MTC Missionary Training Center down in Peru, and we had all sorts of rules. One of the things that they really worry about missionaries is keeping them healthy, and especially like I served in areas where like we didn't have running water. Like we had a tank on the roof that filled up with rainwater, and if we ran out of rainwater, like you didn't shower till it rained again. So it wasn't always like the cleanest conditions, and people that live there are used to that. Their bodies have adapted to it. Ours hadn't, but food is the international language of love, right? And especially in Latin cultures, like feeding people is something that you do. And we had all sorts of rules about, don't eat anything that's not prepackaged. Like we weren't supposed to, when we first got there, like we weren't allowed to eat in other people's homes because they were really worried about.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That changed about halfway through my time there that they opened that rule up, but
interesting.
One of the worst things you could do is like turn down food from somebody.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't care what your mission rules are. We are all these like new missionaries getting trained. He goes, if they offer you something, that's probably a week's worth of their savings. You better eat that. He goes, and I don't care if you don't like it. If you don't think the food's good, you write to your mom and have her send you a bottle of KC Masterpiece. You could eat a turd rolled in nuts if you had enough KC Masterpiece. And I still remember
that's hilarious.
I remember laughing so hard, and like I was the only one laughing, and I like looked around and like everyone else was like
scared.
What am I gonna do?
That's hilarious.
So every time I pick up a bottle of barbecue sauce, I think of Connie Craik. Man, he was a good guy. So, but yeah. So you're working on burgers.
Yeah.
We normally do pulled pork on Memorial Day. I might do ribs. I always do baby back ribs. That's just, I don't know why. I mean, I grew up with the Chili's theme song playing in my head.
Absolutely.
I haven't really spent a lot of time with spare ribs, but I may try those out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think ribs are going to be, I've started to get pretty good at them. My buddy got me turned on to the 3-2-1. I've never like really done that. I finally did that a week or so ago, and man, they were the best ribs I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
That's how I kind of, the times will vary sometimes. It's not 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, but that's my favorite thing.
I always do 2 and 2. Like I've always just done them at 225 and then 2 hours of smoke, 2 hours wrapped, and let the sauce get firm. But like, he converted me.
Yeah.
So
big fan.
Yeah, I think we're gonna keep working on the rib game, and anything else this summer that you're like, what are the goals for the summer? You got any?
I really want to cook a brisket on the offset. It makes me a little nervous, but I mean, I think I've talked to enough people and done enough research, so I think I could pull it off. When and where, I don't know. And I don't even know necessarily how long to expect it to take. But that's kind of that's my pipe dream right now. That's the goal. By the end of the summer, I want to have done a good brisket on the offset.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty excited.
Well, and I found the firewood place again. Called them, got prices. So
yeah,
the only pain in the butt is they're like open from like 8:30 to 5 Monday through Friday.
That's not going to work.
If only I knew a school teacher who was going to be out of school and had time to go down and get a truckload so we could split it.
I wonder if we know a guy. I'm down.
Yeah.
You procured an offset too. We haven't talked about that.
Trying to get to the mute button, I still made a ton of noise. Yeah,
Just send it.
I did. I think we talked a while ago. I gave a talk in church that I related the gospel to barbecue. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was what did we have? Like, we had 6 youth speakers. Like,
yeah,
we had like, I really do think we had like 6 of the youth. So, you know, anywhere from 12 to 17 that we invited to come up and share short messages. We were kind of trying to get 5 minutes out of each of them.
Yeah, between the 6 of them, we planned on them taking about 25 to 30 minutes.
And we had a musical number.
Uh-huh.
With the musical number, they took 12 minutes. Like, it was just like, wham, wham, wham. And you know what? Good for them. Like, that's hard to get up in front of a group of 200 people and talk about anything. But we were sitting there, and it was, you know, you, me, and the bishop were like, all right, who's got something? Yeah. Who's got something to share? None of us thought we were going to have to cover 20 minutes of a meeting.
Right.
But anyways. It's nice to be right. Thanks, Siri.
Sorry. It wouldn't be a podcast without Siri chiming in for my
anyway, so wrist. I gave that talk. We talked about barbecue, and anyways, we get done, and someone in the congregation comes up, and she was like, I've got a smoker. Do you want it? And then, like, the next 3 months, like, we got 12 feet of snow, and like, it was buried, and they just couldn't get to it. Yeah, on Sunday, she was like, hey, are you going to come get this? So we went and picked it up, and yeah, it turned out to be a little offset.
It's pretty cool.
So,
yeah,
I'm excited to give that a shot and give it a try, see how it works. I've never actually like cooked in an offset before.
Yeah.
So,
well, I've only done it once, so.
Well, that's one time more than me, so I'm going to be coming after you for all sorts of tips. But yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a wild couple of weeks. I mean, bought the Blackstone, got that offset. There's a barrel in my driveway that I'm going to turn into a barrel smoker just for the fun of it. That I'm like starting to see what my wife means. Like,
dude,
I don't know where else I'm going to put any smoker.
Bless my wife's heart. She is like, get your crap out of the garage. I don't even care. Like, get it out of here.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this summer. I'm excited like to have this podcast. Like, I feel like I have to cook.
Yeah.
More
it's
so
a
now
good like
so
motivator.
Yeah. So that we can talk about stuff. Excited to hear from the listeners too. Like, as you're cooking and having things go down, like, share them with us. Shoot us DMs or send us pictures. Like, tag us in your stuff. We'd love to see it. Love to talk about it.
Yeah, love to get ideas, things you want us to experiment with, whatever. Like, it'll be fun.
Yeah. All right. I don't know what time it is, but Mike's got a soccer game he's got to get to.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Better hurry.
Come on, go support your kid.
Well, that's the only reason I'm going.
All right. Until next time, I'm John.
I'm Mike.
This is Fat Guys with Smokers. Thanks for listening to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't forget to tune in for even more nonsense from a couple of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.